Hey guys, welcome to the video. Today I'm going to show you guys how to get one of the best builds for Wisp Prime with the highest ability strength. I haven't seen too many people talking about this type of build where you're just focusing on the strength of the moats, but I'm going to show you guys what I did to get the most out of them. So I have 4 Crimson Shards on it, 1 Tau Forge. So this is just giving me an extra 40% ability strength to my build. So just looking at the mods here, you're going to have Blind Rage, Transient Fortitude, Umbral Intensify, Adaption, Energy Conversion, Umbral Vitality, Umbral Fiber, Augur Seed Kits, and Growing Power, and also Power Drift. You'll also have Mole Augmented as your arcane to increase your ability strength. So altogether, these mods without shards would give you a base of 370 ability strength. With my 4 shards, it gives me 410, but if you had all 5 Tau Forged, it would give you 445% ability strength. And then you also have the activation mods, which is Growing Power and Energy Conversion. Growing Power will give you 25 additional on a kill with a status effect, so you can do it with your melee, sidearm, or your primary. And then Energy Conversion is just picking up an energy orb, which gives you an additional 50%. So those together is an additional 75%. So baseline without any shards would be 445%. With my 4 shards, it's 485, and if you had all 5 Tau Forged, it would be 520% for your ability strength on a cast. And then we have the arcane. So this arcane will give you, after 250 kills of any kind, it will give you an additional 60% to your ability strength. So your baseline with no shards would be 505 ability strength. For me, with the arcane, it's 545, and if you had all Tau Forge shards, it would be 580%. And the best part of the build is the use of the Hemolith, which I have in Power, which gives an additional 50% on the next cast. So the process would go using in Power, then picking up an energy orb, and then getting a kill with your status effect, and that would give you your maximum cast. So the baseline without any shards, because I know those are the longest to get. Those aren't really guaranteed. You can't really grind for them. It's just a time-based thing. So base without any shards would be 555% ability strength on cast. That would give you 166 and a half health a second, 111% increase to your movement speed. For me, with my 4 shards, I'll have 595% ability strength, which equates to 178 and a half health a second, and 119% increase to the movement speed. And lastly, if you had all 5 Tau Forge Crimson Shards, you would have 630% ability strength on cast, with 189 health a second and 126% movement speed increase. And also the health a second is also the same as your increased rate of fire. So it's a pretty strong build for ability strength. It's the highest you can possibly get from what I've seen. The only mod that is interchangeable is Adaption. I personally have Adaption because it just really works really well in late game when it brings down the damage by 90%. It really helps with survivability. But this is the only interchangeable one if you want more ability strength, but I think this one is just useful to have in the build. So let's talk about how to get them. First off the arcanes. So this one you can also have an additional arcane for ability strength, but I recommend putting some of your assets into one of your weapons and not just all ability strength. So this can be anything you want. Could be ability strength, but I recommend for a weapon. And then Mole Augmented, I recommend just purchasing on Marketplace if you really want to get this build. It's the fastest way to do it, or you can grind it out, of course. It takes a lot longer. So getting Growing Power. Growing Power is going to be from the Nav Spectre at the Silver Grove. It has a 6% chance of dropping this. And then Power Drift is going to be a guaranteed reward for doing the power test in the Oregon Moon uh, missions. So for those, you can do like a rescue or a assassination and just walk around until you find one of the tests. And then you also have Blind Rage and Transient Fortitude, which are both going to be found in the vaults in the Oregon Derelict. Again, assassination or rescue, walk around until you find these. Umbral Intensify, Vitality, and Fiber. You get all of these 3 in the game already. So, real hard part about these are just leveling them up, getting your endo. Adaption, this one is the hardest to get. It's a 2% drop in arbitration missions. For one of the rewards, I think it's the A roll. And then you have Arbor Secrets. This is going to be on, I think it's Cetus, the free roam bounties. It's level 30 through 50. It's one of the final drops for the missions. And then lastly, Energy Conversion, which you get as a reward for 100,000 reputation with Samaris. So that's how you acquire everything. And then obviously the shards are going to be your weekly quest. These are definitely going to take the longest for the build, but I think it's worth the investment. It really boosts the build. Obviously, if you just have 5 regular shards, you're really just missing out on 50 ability strength, or in the case of the Tau Forge, you're missing out on potentially 75. So it's not too much, not too bad. I wouldn't really worry about it. Just really focus on the ability strength aspect of it. So I guess I'll show you guys how I play and how it works. So I like to run Steel Path Gabi. It's on Ceres, one of the best ones. Really good against Infested. I like playing Wisp in late game Steel Path and Arbitration. Keeps you alive the longest.
Distract the infested while a
go
lone
ahead and use
tenno
my
operative
power.
hunts for supplies.
That'll make it
Set
to
off
my
the alarms
next
to
ability,
start.
which will be plus 50. And so the key to
The
this is
infested are
Wisp in
releasing
general is
toxic
just
spores
to
into the
survive
area.
until you get your
The
bonus down.
emergency life support
You
I am
don't
delivering is
don't
your
want them to
only
be too
chance for
bad,
survival.
so just get a few kills before putting them down. Don't want them to be too easy. So just so we don't die, get down the first one. Also get down our shot. So when I run these steel paths, I always go with my Blue Brahma. I always go with area of attack, weapons, max, killing weapons, and I also go with my Arcane Prime, so I get all my crits and my combos. You'll see later on that it is very effective in, later in the match, how fast you will be moving at pace. Again, it's very effective. Really, the only downside to this build, or Wisp in general, is just being one shot. I think that's really the only thing that can take you down late game. You know, if you have no shield and something is just strong enough to take you out in one hit, you're just not ready for it. So that's kind of why Infested is going to be one of your best bets for going longest in a match. I think this one in particular, going solo, I've gotten to about an hour or so.
I delivered a life support capsule to the area. Activating it will buy you more time.
That's also why I like the Blue Brahma, just because you can keep your distance and kind of stay away from the enemies. You're not really thinking. But as you can see, the he's already increased. This is already higher than I see most with. I have yet to see a Wisp better moats than me. That's kind of why I wanted to make a video. I just didn't know if people were aware of how good this can actually get, or people just haven't really put in the time to build a good Wisp, right? So, as you can see, the more augmented is 184. That's going to be 184 right at 250. It's just building up slowly. As soon as it gets to 250, we'll be ready to put down the last one. And Wisp is going to be really good. Kind of every
Life support
situation.
on the way.
Everyone loves to have a Wisp on their team. It doesn't really take away from anyone's abilities. It really only enhances people. It really only helps. And I mean, everyone likes being fast. Everyone is also very handy when you want to carry someone, keep them alive. Alright, so we're ready. We're at 250, so we can go ahead and put this one out. As you can see,
Another life support capsule is now available.
And this is pretty good healing for not using any energy the rest of the map. Like, as long as your moat doesn't destroy, like, you use no more energy. Just one-time use, and you're doing as much healing as an overall. It's really good. As long as you just really vigilant with your killing, you'll be fine. And you also have the next one, 19. Really nice. So this is the max hit, or at least how I have it, is 4 shards. If you don't have the 4 shards, you won't get this high. So I highly recommend the shards. Just a little bit more time in the list. But I think you really do get the most value out of it. So I highly recommend getting the Drama as well, or just a similar weapon. I know the Corpus has newer weapons that are really good, kind of like the Drama grenade launcher. So this guy you want to watch out for. He likes to one-shot. So I like to use my abilities to distract a little bit. Take him out. So that guy you have to be really careful with because he can one-shot you if you are not being careful. You have no more shield, he breaks your shield and one-shot you. It's,
additional life support has
be really
arrived.
careful about it. So yeah, going back to where it's effective, really good in defenses, arbitrations, and it's also
life support activated.
really, so it's good against infested just because the enemies are weaker. There's not many enemies that can one-shot you.
The raid is
so you
off
don't
to a
have to
successful
worry
start.
about that nearly as much.
Extraction is available if you need it.
So definitely advantage against infested. And then you also have Veneer. I wouldn't say it has an advantage over Veneer, just neutral. Not a disadvantage, not an advantage. Because they can't destroy your moats, but they also have many more troops that can one-shot you, especially in the creatures. So keep your eye out on that. But as long as you're jumping around, staying invisible, if you didn't know, Wisp is invisible when she jumps. So if you ever get low or in danger, just start jumping, and you'll be fine. So yeah, as long as you're in the air, moving around against them, you'll be fine. And then the biggest weakness is definitely against Corpus, just because they have those guys that walk around with backpacks. They can actually destroy your moats with their backpacks.
I've delivered another life support capsule.
Yeah, has its problems when you're not paying attention and your moat is gone without you knowing it. And if you're in that moment, if you don't have energy, it can really screw you. So that's really they don't really have people that can one-shot necessarily, not too often at least. So that part you don't really have to worry about. But you have to worry the most about losing your moat. No one else you really have to worry about losing your moat. It doesn't really happen. So yeah, those are the advantages and disadvantages when you use it. And another thing with the defense, it's very, very helpful in defenses, especially the arbitration defense, where it's the person that runs around, because the moat heal structure or the person, and it basically just keeps them at full health the whole time, so you don't even have to worry about them. Very helpful. Very, very helpful. Yeah, as you can see, very, very good solo. Even better with the team. It works very well for the team just because it makes like you become this strong, and also your teammates become this strong on top of the Warframe that they already have. So they can be running Meza, Saren, anyone they want, Angara, anyone, and they will have all the same benefits as you and their abilities. So it's very strong, very good. And that's why most people like having a Wisp, because they get all the benefits as the Wisp main, and they get their abilities. So it's kind of like a win-win all around. Because you get to have fun, they get all that. So that's kind of why Wisp is my favorite. And why I usually rock the Wisp. Yeah, I gotta be careful with those guys. They take your shield away. They like to do some damage. You gotta be really careful. And yeah, so you really, Wisp is kind of like a balance between healing and avoidance. So Wisp is more about avoidance than you might actually think. I mean, you guys, she goes invisible. She has her distraction with her ability, and that was pretty strong right there. Let me just go down right there. Yeah, as you see, it can get overpowered, especially when you're doing some damage. That's why it's great to have teammates. I think these are a new class that they added. So this is kind of an example of what to do when you go down like that. It's not too bad. See, it's pretty easy to get back on your feet. You just pop your power. And then you start clearing them out again. And it's like nothing ever happened. Yeah, so really good, really strong. So, and obviously when you're with people, you avoid that. And a good thing to do is also to have, like, you can only have 6 out at a time, so I usually do 3 on one hand, 3 on the other, and just rotate between it, and that's how you avoid dying like that. Just here for an example, just how good it is. Just wait for the to get out of here. So yeah, really good for farm. This map in particular is really good for farming skill path. Specifically,
we will
with
all
Wisp.
share in this bounty. Hold out as long as you can.
There I go. Yeah, so this guy in particular, you really want to watch out for. He loves to kill. So that's why number one always has a strong weapon. Boom. Just like that. And we got 2 more steel essence. So I know you can get the alerts done.
Another life support capsule is now available.
This is just faster, especially when you're out of the alerts for steel path. Just runs the Gabi, and he'll come really fast. Basically once every 5 minutes. And you just knock him out. And as long as you don't die to him, you can get your steel essence and keep going. Usually I don't die that early on. Probably usually make it about 30 minutes before dying, like that. But you know, stuff happens. So yeah, really good, really strong. Highly recommended.
This is good.
I usually get most kills, most damage, most healing at the end of the match with this build. And yeah, I've yet to see anyone with a higher ability strength build. I love the build, take it into everything. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I showed you guys what mods I use, how to get them, what weapons I use in tandem with it, Kuba Brahma, and the Piranha, didn't talk about this one, the very fast shotgun, and the Nakana. Just the build I like to run with it. And then obviously the Wisp Prime build. Yeah, so it might take a while to grind it out, but if it's your main, it is very much so worth it. Teammates will love you, and you'll have much more fun playing the game. So, if you guys enjoyed the video, drop a like, and consider subscribing. I'll see you guys in the next one.